I'm sweaty, I got helmet hair, and I feel great. Let me tell you guys a story. So today I woke up knowing it was a special day. It's a special day because it's my once-a-year day where I get to go prove myself to the world of firefighting. And what that means is today was my CPAT test. For those of you who don't know what a CPAT is a candidate physical ability test, which basically means that I'm going to show them that I'm still physically capable of performing the duties of a firefighter. Now, with firefighting and with becoming a police officer, these types of jobs, they require you to be physically fit. And they require a new level of difficulty when you're going in as a type 1 diabetic like myself. And so there are a lot of things you have to take into account. I'll tell you a story about today. So today, I go in, I know that if I'm eating about 2 hours beforehand, and this is because I keep things consistent, okay? Keep that in mind. Because I know that if I eat 2 hours beforehand, my blood sugar is going to be stable at that 2-hour marker, then I was able to plan that out. So I found my test. My test was about 2 hours and 15 minutes after I ate my breakfast. I checked, I started my test at 158 milligrams per deciliter. That's my blood sugar. And I was super comfortable with that. The last couple of days, I've been starting my workouts at like 100 or 96, and that was kind of risky, and I was really hoping that wouldn't be today's case. And so today I was super happy with 158 starting point. I go through, get my paperwork signed, and fill out all my forms, go through, and as I'm getting dressed, getting the weight vests on and everything, my helmet, my gloves and all that, start talking with my proctor, and he's like, oh, okay, he's looking over my forms. You've done this before. I'm like, yeah, a few times. Yeah, I've been trying to become a firefighter for a few years now, and it's a very competitive job to get into, especially in Southern California. Everyone wants to become a firefighter, apparently. It's a great job, so I don't blame him. But he's going over there, it's like, oh, okay, you've done this test for quite a few years. I'm like, yeah, I've done it in Orange County and San Diego, and I'm all over the place. And he's like, okay, I guess you don't really need any help then. He's like, I'll give you tips throughout. And I was like, that's awesome. Because, when I'm getting exhausted, sometimes you forget what the rules are and I might step out of bounds. I don't want to fail from stepping out of bounds when I know that I'm physically fit enough to do an amazing job. So I was like, yeah, please, just give me tips, kind of whisper in my ear as I'm going through the course so I don't mess anything up. He's like, okay, cool. And he's like, is there anything else you want to know as you go into this test? And I was like, there's one question I have. Not that I'm aiming for it, even though I totally was. I was like, not that I'm aiming for it. What's the course record? And he's like, oh, okay. He's like, well, there was this one guy. He's like 6'5", 6'6". And in my head, I'm like, okay, me. He's like, there's this really athletic guy, looked really strong. I'm like, okay, me. He's like, this guy, he had 2 minutes and 10 seconds left at the end of the course. He's like, that's incredible. Anybody who can break 2 minutes is like a superior athlete. And I'm like, okay. I had a similar time. I didn't tell him this, but a couple years ago I had a similar time to that at a different location, but I didn't do that in San Diego. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna try and break that record. But I had one issue. My insulin pump site is on the inside of my leg, which I could have planned better. Based on my insulin site rotation, I try to rotate to avoid lipohypertrophy, which is the buildup of fatty tissue under the skin, blah, blah, blah. That's in a different video. But you should rotate your sites. If you're injecting insulin with needles or with an insulin pump, rotate your sites. Trust me on that. So my rotation led me to inside of my thigh, and I was like, okay, that might cause some issue because last night I kind of touched it and I could feel that the needle of my insulin pump site, because I use a true steel one, so it's an actual needle inside my thigh, I can feel it just almost touching my muscle, and I was like, that could hurt badly if something were to hit it during the course. And sure enough, it did. So the first steps, you're on your stairs and you have your hose drag, and you've got, what was the next one? Equipment carries and ladder raises, and then you get to the sledgehammer. And on the sledgehammer, as I'm coming up to it, my site hit the muscle. I was like, kind of limped a little bit. Didn't tell him. I was like, I'm gonna go for it. But it hurt, and I was about halfway through. Felt the needle, hit my muscle, and on the sledgehammer, since it was a steady, stationary stance, I was able to kind of wiggle my leg while I'm sledgehammering. And this is a break and entry kind of a drill. So I was able to kind of wiggle the needle back away from my muscle. It still was annoying, but it didn't hurt as bad. I finished the search and rescue, the body pull, and the breach, and all the other activities. I was able to complete my course. So thankfully it did not get in the way too much. And then afterwards I'm like, okay, I feel good about this time. What was my time? And he looks at his clock, he's like, holy crap! You broke 2 minutes, you got more than 2 minutes left. I'm like, how much? Well, what's that time? He's like, 2 minutes and 4 seconds. I'm like, gosh dang it. Because remember, I said before this, he told me the course record was 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. I had 2 minutes and 4 seconds remaining, so I missed it by 6 seconds. So I was like a little bit bummed, but you know, I wasn't completely out of breath. I felt good about it, and I obviously still passed. I had more than 2 minutes to do whatever I want. I could have just chilled. But what I want to talk to you guys about is becoming a firefighter, becoming a police officer. There's 2 pieces of advice that I want to give you that I have found to be true through my training, through my experiences going through EMT school and all the different firefighter tests that I've taken, and from what I've learned from other firefighters and police officers that I've interviewed, because I've been looking for knowledge my entire time going forth in this process to make sure that I am prepared for this in the best manner possible. So number 1 is consistency. If you can keep things consistent that are in your power to keep consistent, because let's be real, firefighting and police officer work is not consistent at all. It's a different work environment every single day, which is what makes it so cool. That's why I want to go into it. It's not why. Brotherhood and, well, sisterhood I include into that, but you know, camaraderie, teamwork, the adrenaline rush, the physical side of it being very active. There's a lot of different factors that go into why I want to be a firefighter. But being consistent, we'll go back to that point, with your meals, for example. Consistency as a type 1 diabetic. You shouldn't be having like Thai food for lunch and German food for dinner and American food for breakfast if it's going to throw off your blood sugars and mess up your work routine. Okay? Now, you can have Thai for lunch and then German for dinner and then American food for breakfast. But one thing to keep in mind across any meal is the macronutrient profiles of those types of foods. Try to keep those consistent. Have around the same percentages of carbs, fats, and proteins. Those are your 3 main macronutrients. Well, those are the 3 macronutrients. Those are the 3 main factors that you need to take into consideration when you're planning your meals. Now, obviously, at the fire station, sometimes they have different types of food that are really delicious that were not planned. Just kind of like the guys, like, hey, I want to have that today. And you're like, dang, that sounds really good. But try to keep it consistent. I like to pack my lunches a lot, and my dinners sometimes. That helps me keep stable blood sugars. Now, second thing I want to go into is planning ahead. Being prepared. This is something that will help you no matter what situation you're in. I don't care if you're going into firefighting or being a police officer or working a desk job in an office. Okay? Any type of career, any type of life as a type 1 diabetic will benefit from being prepared. What I mean by that is, I told you I went into my test with 158 blood sugar. I had these in my pocket. Tabs to go. It's an awesome little container for glucose tablets. It's flat, so it fits in your pocket perfectly, did not get in the way during my test, and I was able to have those as an extra level of security in case my blood sugar went low. I didn't want my firefighter test to fail simply because I didn't have a single glucose tablet that could have saved me if I went low. Now, that being said, it's a high intensity workout. You're sprinting around, lifting heavy things, and jumping through boxes. My blood sugar ended up spiking. At the end of the test, I kind of felt sick, and I was like, crap, what? Well, okay, thinking back, that was a high intensity workout. Darn it. And I checked my my Dexcom, and I was at 205. So took a little insulin, feeling better now. But preparedness, looking into what you expect. Now, obviously, you can't prepare for everything, especially in those types of jobs, firefighting, police officer, because it's an environment that changes constantly. And so the third level of advice I would give is, this is a bonus, I think I only said 2. So the third is adapting to your situation, adapting to your environment. If you're low, carry sugar. If you're high, take some insulin. Adapt. You're never going to be fully prepared for every single area in life, but what you can do is do the best you can be to be prepared and then adapt whenever you need to. Okay? So those are the 3 things: consistency, preparedness, and adapting that will help you become a firefighter or a police officer. For those of you who don't know, I actually wanted to join the military growing up. I wanted to be a fighter pilot in the Air Force. Then I got too tall. The cutoff height 6'1" to be a fighter pilot, and I am well past that. And then I wanted to be a Marine sniper, and then I got type 1 diabetes. So I found out you can't be in the Marines with diabetes. Found out you can't be in any branch of the military with diabetes. I even tried the Coast Guard, and they were still like, nope, can't do that with diabetes. I was like, can I be a firefighter? That sounds awesome. And they're like, yes, but. I'm like, oh, great. Yes, but you cannot have 2 severe low blood sugars in the last 2 years. Which at first I was like, holy cow, I can't go below 70? And they're like, no, severe. Someone else helping you, like you're unconscious. And I was like, oh, okay. It's happened once in my life, so don't have to worry about that. I recognize this video is getting kind of long, but if you guys are trying to become a firefighter or a police officer, do not let diabetes hold you back. It's completely possible. It's just a little extra difficult, something else you have to take into consideration as you are preparing and training for this new career in life. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Comment below. I'd love to start a discussion. I am not a firefighter yet. However, boom, passed my CPAT today, and pretty excited about that. So that is it for today. Message of the day is don't let diabetes hold you back. Just prepare and adapt when needed. All right, guys, have an awesome day and keep up the fight.